Shall we start? Yam Shaiva Samupasate Shivaiti Brahmedi Vedantino Bauddha Buddha iti Pramana Patavaha Karteti Nayayika Arhan Nityatha Jaina Shasanarataha Karmeti Mimamsaka Soyamvo Vidadhatu Vanchita Phalam Trailokyanato Harihi Soyamvo Vidadhatu Vanchita Phalam Trailokyanato Harihi Shuddho Buddho Vimukta Shruti Shikhara Giram Mukhyatat Pariya Bhumi Yasma Jatam Samastam Jagadidam Amrutat Vyapya Sarvam Sthito Yaha Yasyam Sham Shavataraihi Suranaravanajayir Rekshitam Sarvametad Tam Bhoomanam Mukundam Hridigatamamalam Krishnameva Prapadye Tam Bhoomanam Mukundam Hridigatamamalam Krishnameva Prapadye Madhya Hridaya Kashe Sadanandamayo Guruhu Udetu Satatam Samyak Swatmananda Prabodhaka Harihi 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 Om Tats Jaya Guru Jaya Guru. I don't have an idea of my voice because I have forgotten my helper. I can say as usual. At least it is as usual with me. It is to be usual with you also. So we shall have 3 times the auspicious monosyllable Omkara recited jointly. Specifically thinking in your minds that our joint recitation should spread upon the whole of the earth, showering its benedictions on all the creatures surviving on the earth, which also means in the sea. Interlock your fingers and put them on your lap. Sit comfortably erect, close your eyes. And open the mouth as well as the hearts. Then join me. Your mind part is very important in this joint recitation. Hari, Hari, Hari. Hari Om Tat Sat. How are you all feeling while chanting the Om? Do you feel the blessed note?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Now what are you going to do following this? Will you make it a practice? Huh?
Yes.
and allow yourself to be blessed. It is completely within you. No external factor is in the process involved. I thought I would tell you Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It contains 700 verses. Sri Krishna gave his last message from the palace of Dwaraka when he was 125 years old. His chosen devotee was also correspondingly old. That instruction was 1000 verses. This is 700. This was an instruction given to deal with the interactional life, its impacts, inputs and the like. So this is a kind of an instruction to deal with your life and activity. The other one was given to Uddhava to say, the time has come for you. Uddhava said, my dear Lord, I cannot keep away from you, even for half a second. I understand that you are ready to depart. So take me alone, take me also along with you, he said. Is it ever possible? We don't know what happens to us at the time of death. Do we go? Have we come? Where shall we go? So if some person asks us, you take me also? Is it ever possible? Twin children are born one after the other. But this cannot take place at all. So Krishna was wondering. He was always very dexterous. So any situation he will meet. So he told Uddhava, I understand your problem. You are unable to keep away from me. The problem is one of taking to separation. I understand you. So you are saying, take me also along. That will not solve the problem. Now I ask you to go while I am living. You leave me and go. So the problem becomes mine. Uddhava said, whenever his Lord says something, he instantly does it. So he should leave. So he says, I am unable to leave. And what is the reason? The shackles of my own mind and intelligence. I have delusion. I consider this body to be I. And all the belongings of the body, belongings for the body, I consider them to be mine. So he says, Soham mamahamiti mudhamatir vigadha. What a great statement. I am totally engulfed by the two feelings, aham and mama, I and mine. I am thinking the body is me. And all the belongings, including house, family, members, property, etc. mine. I am not able to leave this place. So I want you to instruct me efficiently so that you will enter into my heart and mind and take away the obstructions from there and empower me to do what you ask me to do. What did Krishna ask him to do? Leave me right now. On the 7th day, after I leave my body, the entire Dwaraka will be immersed in the sea. And this place will not be good for people to live. So I want you to leave, he said. Oh, so I must be able to leave. So enabled me. There the instruction was given. And my dear souls, understand it. After listening to what Krishna said, Uddhava did leave with tearful eyes. He said, give me your sandals. Putting them on his head, he started turning back. Before that, prostrated before Krishna, wetting all his feet, and then turning back, he left for Badrikashrama. And he was living there. You know what Krishna said? Live there. enjoy the cool breeze of Himalayas, have beautiful bath every day in the Alagananda river, and stay making a hermitage between the Nara and Narayana mountains. This is India. This is India. There is no problem which cannot be resolved by us. Parikshit, Swamiji mentioned about him yesterday. Great King Parikshit was cursed. What was the curse? You will die on the 7th day bitten by a cobra. Whoever it is, the son cursed. He brought the body of a dead cobra, a carcass, and put it on Shamika Maharshi, who was immersed in his meditation. Parikshit had gone hunting. He felt hungry. So he thought, here is an ashram, a hermitage. If I go there, I will get water. But when he entered there was nobody to welcome him. That kingly prestige was there. Shamika Maharshi was sitting closed. So his thirst overcame his mind. Thirst. A physical development completely subdued the mind. He lost his temper. He was turning back. But he wanted to know whether the Maharshi was really unconscious of the body or immersed in super consciousness. So when he went there, nature had beautifully planned. And there was a dead cobra there. He took it and put it as a garland on Maharshi's neck. The news reached Maharshi's child, who was playing at a distance. He instantly thought, kings are very powerful. They feel they have powerful hands. I will show him whether the kingly hands are powerful or the ascetic mind is powerful. He took some water and cursed. On the 7th day, a living cobra will come bite you, and in that poison, your whole body will be burned in the fire. Is there any greater crisis in human life? I call Srimad Bhagavatam the conqueror of death. What? The conqueror of death. It is a weapon that conquers death. Parikshit was accursed to die. You know, India is a great country. For any kind, knowingly or unknowingly, any kind of sin that you commit, there is a recompense. So the instance spread like wildfire everywhere. Parikshit Maharaja also got the news. I am going to live only for 6.5 days. 7th day I will have been gone. So what shall I do now? I will undertake a prayobhavesha, fasting unto death, without taking food and drink, only breathing. Now, this kind of a special vow, a discipline, people know about it, but they have never seen directly. So that news spread all the more. And so many people, literate people, brahmanas, ascetics, sages, scholars, and so many others came over to see what Parikshit was doing. He spread a special type of ceremonial grass on the bank of Ganges, and sat there. What else had he to do? He had nothing else to do, not even answering the calls of nature, because he had stopped his food. You know, the news spread so powerfully that the young Shuka Maharshi, a 16-year-old boy, is actually a spiritual hippie. Hippie word is common in America, I believe, or it was. That also is outlived. He heard it. So he decided optionally to go there. He was the son of Vyasadeva. If Vyasadeva was a Paramahamsa I would like to style Shuga Maharshi, the son, as Paramahamsa squared. With no apparel on his body, he was walking, spreading the ecstasy of his mind and heart. So he went there. Then Parikshita asked him, a man facing imminent death, what is he supposed to do? Tell me. Then the question started. This is India. For every problem of the human mind, there is a solution with the intelligence. Any problem whatsoever. Who creates or senses the problem? The mind. Then who should resolve it? Mind's own elder brother, the intelligence. So here you will find two important messages were given by Krishna in his life. One was the Warfield dialogue, another was the Dwaraka dialogue. We are discussing the Bhagavad Gita. I thought I would speak to you on the 3 days if I get time. What Bhagavad Gita is in the beginning, and what it is in the middle, and what it is going to be in the end. So today I thought I will speak about the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. That beginning is not a beginning, it is also an end. Such a beautiful presentation. In terms of literature, language, poetic majesty and magnificence, in every way you will find the language of the Bhagavad Gita, the poetry, the rhythm, the profundity of the expression, the brevity of composition, conjunction, etc. Very, very appreciable. Yesterday I told you about Prasthanatrayam. That is the fundamental writing. All the other writings, we call them Puranas, mythology, Smriti, constitution, code of conduct, etc. All of them are only following this Prasthanatrayam. And what is the Prasthana, the voyage of knowledge? That is what happened in Warfield. What Bhagavad Gita represents? The voyage of knowledge. Knowledge is taking up a pilgrimage. Where will knowledge emerge or emerges? Tell me. Is it in the nose? Knowledge emerges only in the intelligence. Where exactly it is, do you know? No. No? No? Our heart is functioning. Lungs are functioning. Brain also is functioning. For every beat of the heart, as well as the bellowing of the lungs, there is a specific brain signal. So these two function depending upon the signals from the brain. But the brain depends upon blood circulation from the heart and oxygen from the lungs. So here are three organs which are mutually dependent. Now you tell me, what is the fourth factor which makes them interdependent? Up to now, medicinal science, if my information is correct, has not been able to access that area. I was told by a doctor that the frontal brain, there was an accident in Jamshedpur. The patient was admitted. A lot of the frontal brain was scooped, but nothing happened to him. His memory and other things were intact. So there seems to be extra brain here. I don't know whether medicinal science will progress when they will take some portion from here and then graft it there. So understand it very clearly. Where is the intelligence? We cannot say. Where is the mind? We cannot say. But the intelligential and mental functions we know very clearly. And that is sufficient also. We are not going to compete with God in creating a world or a universe. We only want to know how to live in this world. So the Prasthanatrayam actually takes place in Bhagavad Gita. You will find how it takes place. Yesterday I said Bhagavad Gita is not a religious scripture. If it is not a religious scripture, what is it? It was just a secular dialogue which took place in the war field of Kurukshetra. As I said, perhaps, this place, Kurukshetra, is 145 kilometers away from New Delhi, the capital of India. Arjuna had come there to fight. And what is fighting, you tell me? Is it not a secular act? Or is it a religious act? It's a secular act. The ground was secular, the purpose was secular, and both the people were fighters. They belonged to the Kshatriya class. In the case of Krishna, he was not a king, but he had done far more than what a righteous king would have done. All the wicked people of the world at the time, of the not out of the world, of then at the time, all of them were liquidated. When a war precipitated, both the sides started acquiring and amassing supporters. And Duryodhana, the wicked leader, he got 11 Akshahunis. Whereas Yudhishthira, the righteous leader, got only 7. The proportion was 11 to 7. Suppose we have a similar event here. Will the proportion be better or worse? I believe it will be better. So the world is not too bad. Duryodhana and Arjuna, both of them went to Dwaraka to seek support from Krishna for the war. Duryodhana was the first person to go there. When he went there, Krishna was found to be sleeping, resting. Most probably he was not sleeping. He was lying. And he must have seen Duryodhana come also. So after he arrived, Arjuna should have come first. But this man has come. So what shall I do? He was fast asleep. And Duryodhana, see the behavior of people. What did he do? He did not sit at the feet side of Krishna. There was a sofa on the head side. He went and sat there gallantly. Some time passed. Then Arjuna pantingly arrived. Krishna saw that also. And then what did he do? Finding his friend asleep, he sat very humbly on the side of the feet. Krishna breathed the first sigh of relief. He has done something very good. Then he got up. And when he got up, he saw Arjuna first. Then he turned his head and saw Duryodhana. To see him, he had to strain himself. Then he got up and started discussing, why have you come? We have come to seek support. Okay, you are equally related to me. So I am making no division at all. So I will divide my resources in this way. All my Narayani Sena on the one side, and on the other side, I myself alone, with a resolve not to fight or take weapons in the battlefield. Are you following me? Do you like to hear? Yes. See how dharma, the power of sustenance, has its own hidden ways, invisible ways. So on the one side I, and on the other side. Now the question is, who should be given the first choice? Instantly Duryodhana said, I have come first, therefore I should be given the first choice. But Krishna said, though you have come first, I saw you next. First I saw Arjuna. Not only that, Arjuna is younger to you. So let us give the first choice to Arjuna. Duryodhana panted for a while. And Arjuna said, I want you, my dear Lord. Duryodhana had a high sigh of relief. Oh, Well done. Later on, Krishna asked Arjuna, why did you choose me? After my having said, I will not take weapons or directly fight in the war. For a long time, I have cherished a desire that I should make you my charioteer and I should win a war. Krishna understood it. Oh, he wanted me to drive his chariot and win a war. I am presenting to you, this is how dharma works. After coming to the battlefield, as I told you, Arjuna wanted to examine the armies, both armies, before deciding upon his strategy in the war. So he asked Krishna, lifting his Gandiva bow, gave a tall order. Krishna received such an order for the first time. Drive my chariot ahead. Stop it in a suitable place so that I can examine the armies. Krishna again smiled. He drove the chariot. Did something beyond Arjuna's expectation. What was it? He drove and stationed the chariot right at the center. Bhishma Drona Pramukhataha Sarvesham cha Mahikshidam Uvacha Partha Pashyaidan Samavedan Kuruniti. Right in front of Bhishma, the grandfather, and his own teacher Drona, and all the other elderly fighters there. Now see to your own satisfaction. Krishna had for long cherished a desire. Arjuna is close to me, but at no point of time Arjuna never has asked me about anything like spirituality, spiritual crowning of human life, etc. There is a vacuum in my friend. I want to fill the vacuum, but there was no opportunity for it. At least now I shall try to fulfill the vacuum. That is why he stationed it in front of Bhishma and Drona. And what happened? Arjuna found that his own mastery in archery, the use of bow and arrow, was nothing before this situation. He was an unchallengeable fighter, victorious fighter. And he had his Gandiva. He also had acquired Pashupadastra, a special type of weapon, by austerity and tapasya. With all these additional embellishments, resources, he had come to the battlefield. And now what he finds is, his body is trembling, Gandiva is slipping, mind is whirling, intelligence is arguing you should not fight the war. What else is there in it? This is what you have to understand. Any extent of external resources you have in the world, in your life, maybe a very strong body, beaming with health, a powerful mind, and also rationally sharp and perceptive intelligence. All these will not be able to redeem you. Am I clear? How many times will you write it in your brain? Now we are going to find, is there any resource other than these, which when properly harnessed, our life can remain beautiful, sustained, harmonious, glorious and blissful. When Arjuna submitted before Krishna, this war is sinful. We are going to perpetrate a colossal sin. And all of us will be damned in hell, from where it will not be possible to get redeemed. So much he spoke. He spoke quite a lot, quoting Shastras, scriptures, etc. And then said, I am going to retreat. You know what Krishna did? This is something that people don't read in Bhagavad Gita and relate to life. Every one of you requires this message. Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupasthidam anarya justam aswargyam agirtikaram Arjuna klaibyam asmagamah partha naidatvai upapadyade kshudram hridayada urbalyam tyaktottishta parandava. Kutastva kashmalamidam. Arjuna, what you have exhibited before me is nothing other than unmanliness, imbecility. This is not heroism. This is not courage. This is not the nobility called sympathy or fondness. This is a sheer weakness. Weakness. You are weak. Your mind is worth nothing. And your intelligence is shaking. Unmanliness. Body trembled. Your bow fell. Your mind whirled. Your intelligence counter-argued. We have an intelligence to argue, to present rational thinking at every point of time, to help and elevate us, or to enervate us. What is the role of human intelligence? What has happened to you? Kutastva kashmalamidam. Where from have you picked up this unmanliness? How did it enter your system? This is not accepted by noble people. It will not lead to heaven. Everybody will start blaming you. Anarya justam aswargyam agirtikaram Arjuna klaibyam asmagamah partha. My dear Arjuna, never should you undergo this miserable plight. This inner, mental and intellectual weakness and delusion. Naida tvai upapadyade. It does not behove you, a valorous and heroic fighter. Kshudram hridayada urbalyam. This kind of a weakness of heart is something trifling. See the manner in which he speaks, the words which are used. If you don't like your dog, give it a bad name and shoot. There is a proverb. Remove the good name it has, give it a bad name. Kshudram hridayada urbalyam. This weakness of your heart is trifling. Tyaktottishta parandava. Abandon it, eschew it, relinquish it, and then get up. Get up. You sat out of weakness. I want you to get up with courage and resolve. Have you ever heard a message like this? As parents, have you ever spoken to your children in this manner? If the children are crying, you will double cry. When somebody is aggrieved, you also start grieving. What help can he expect from you and what can you give to him? So this is the way. At any point of time, never lose your heart. We are born here to live. Live gloriously. Gloriously. Live creditably. Live fulfillingly. For fulfillment, we don't need anything from the earth at all. Fulfillment is a condition of the inner personality of man. With nothing, you can be infinitely happy. And with many things, you can gravely be miserable. It is not a question of what you have. The question is what you are. What you are, you tell me. Physically, I know how much tall you are, what weight do you have. But I don't know anything about your mind and heart. Tell me, if at all, how your mind is, heart is, intelligence is. What is your vision? What is your aspiration? What is your goal? A man is judged not by what he has, but by what he is. Krishna spoke this in the way of an admonishment, and Arjuna heard it. After all, Krishna was his dear friend. When he spoke, it has to be heard with many ears and many hearts. So he understood. The tearful Arjuna suddenly became different. All the tears stopped. Sobbing stopped. He said, "Okay, I have understood the message. I will not speak one word about sympathy or fondness. Even if these are set aside, a question arises. I am to fight my grandfather, who loves me and blesses me. I am extremely grateful to him. I respect him. I fall at his feet and take his blessings. Such a man, even if you say I am to fight, I shall fight. But how? How? What is the methodology or empowerment you have to provide me so that I can take my bow and arrow and fight?" So when I think about it, I am confused. I am not able to arrive at a line of propriety. Am I clear? The question is not of the mind or emotions here. The question is one of propriety. What is righteous? What is dharmic? And what will be appropriate? I have fought so many wars, but all against enemies. But here it is respectable people, elders, friends, relatives, to fight such a war. I have no experience, I have no background. Even now, I would not like to do. But you say I should. Okay, I shall. But how? 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 The whole Bhagavad Gita is an answer to this. When it is a full answer to such a bloody warfare, 4.5 million warriors minus 10 were all killed in 18 days. And he was supposed to be the cause for that war. What is the extent of suffering, agony Arjuna must have felt? Compared to that, what is the agony which all of you together will have? Nothing. Nothing. So he said finally, very important, I generally make people, I recite and ask them to follow. Karpanya dosho bhagata swabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha yat shreyasyan nischidam bruhitan me shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prabannam. The whole picture changed, my dear souls. I am narrating to you the behavior of two men belonging to the fighting class. I am not referring to God. I am referring to Krishna, born of Devaki and Vasudeva. And I am speaking of Arjuna, born of Kunti Devi and Pandu. Two humans. He says, Karpanya dosho bhagata swabhava. I understand, Krishna, that there is a great point of view. But my mind is very small. It is very parochial, my outlook is. I am suffering from narrow-mindedness. Will you remember this expression? You may be a father, a mother, a grandfather, a grandmother, a teacher, a scientist, a political leader. But the mind is narrow. Narrow mind. What is that broad mind? What is that perceptive intelligence? What is that expansion or expansive mind? That is different. He suffers from karpanya dosha, narrow-mindedness. Pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha. Therefore, I am not able to think of the propriety at this hour. You say I should fight. Bhishma and Drona also have come here to fight, to lead the enemy camp. So the war is supposed to be done. It is meant to be done. But I am not able to do it. Not because I don't have the strength to do it. I have the strength, but I am debilitated now. It has come because of the shrunk nature of the mind, narrowness of the mind. Dharma sammudha chedaha. I am not able to think about the dharmic propriety or ethical propriety in this matter. I only can tell you, war is a terrestrial event, a temporary event. But by everything in human life, what we shall attain, yat Shreyasya nishchitam bruhitan me. You are asking me to fight. I shall also fight. But by fighting, I should not lose the goal of human life. What is that goal of human life? Shreya, not preya. Prayas means the immediately pleasant, the immediately, short-livingly present. Shreyas means everlastingly good and fulfilling. So, yet Shreyasyad, I cannot somehow fight this war and lose my life, not body. Judged on the basis of the goal of human life. Yet Shreyasyan nishchitam bruhidan me. In a decisive manner tell me wherein lies my Shreyas, everlastingly good, everlasting goodness. Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam pravannam. My dear Krishna, let me confess before you, I am no more your brother-in-law, no more even a fighter. I am your disciple. This means that I have made you, anointed you as my guru, my teacher. So take the position of a teacher, look at me as a disciple and tell me decisively wherein lies my Shreyas. Tell me now what is Bhagavad Gita. It is a dialogue between a seeker disciple and a knower master. Both of them were human. Both of them were human. They were in the battlefield. We have got administration in any kind of a government. In that administration, public administration, war is the most challenging and excruciating act. Both of them were there to undertake the task. There the situation has come. Generally, Shreyas, the spiritual goal of human life, is sought, as you must have known, patiently in the house or in the forest by doing tapasya, etc. People don't suddenly say, I want Shreyas. They will take their own time, their own maturity. Here Arjuna was out to fight the war. He said, even if I am fighting, I should not lose my Shreyas. So Shreyas is something, my dear souls, can be sought by everyone in any given situation. Even in the most notorious Kurukshetra battlefield. So Arjuna became a seeker of Shreyas and Krishna began to speak. Did you understand the context of Bhagavad Gita dialogue now? Yes. Yes. How do people call it a religious dialogue? And see how Krishna dealt with the situation. I told you all the problems are creation of the human mind. And the solution is going to be a delivery from the intelligence. See how he analyzes. Ashocyananvashocastvam prajnavadamscha bhashase gatasoon agatasumscha nanushocandi pandita. Arjuna spoke to Krishna in such a manner that he knew more than Krishna. and then proved his proposition. Even if I remain in this battlefield, not fighting, unfighting, and the opponents discharge their arrows, they pierce me and put me to death, my life will be still blessed. I am not going to fight. All people will go to hell, from where very difficult to get redeemed. Long time. Even Krishna Arjuna would be in hell, according to him. Now such an Arjuna now says something like this, and he started crying. So he said, Ashocyan anvashocastvam. Arjuna, you are grieving over those people who should not be grieved at all. Who should not be grieved at all. You are grieving over whom? Bhishma and Drona. Both are spiritual luminaries. Bhishma was the great knower of truth. He had realized immortality within himself. Such a great Bhishma stands before you. Is it not an open permission for you to fight? If there was something wrong, would he have been there? So by his presence commanding the Duryodhana army, he is openly telling you, dear son, go ahead, fight. That is what he says. Suppose you had a doubt, you could have fallen at their feet and asked, you seem to be stable, heroic, valorous, ready, settled, but I am crying. What is the difference between you and me, my dear grandfather? So will you please tell me how you become so poised and how I become unsettled? You could have asked him. You are not asking them. You are telling me I will not fight. How dare you say this? Why don't you think about greatness and the way of the great people? Ashocyan anvashocastvam. At the same time you spoke to me like a great scholar representing the Vedic lore. Gatasoon agatasoomscha nanushocandi panditaha. My dear Arjuna, the enlightened people, Panditas, the wise people, do not grieve either over the dead or over the living. Will you write this in your brain? Huh? Enlightened people, wise people who want to understand matters and who understood or understand matters, they will not grieve either over the dead or over the living. There are only two categories of people in this world. First category is very numerous, the dead, and the other is living. What is meant by living? Tell me, what is the climax of life? Huh? Why are you shy to speak about it? Life is something like living and outliving. And ultimately we will outlive the total life, dropping our body. What did the Pandavas do? They ruled the country only for 32 years. 32 or 36, I don't remember. And then all of them, when they heard that Krishna had shed his body, along with Draupadi, they started walking up the Himalayan mountains. As they were climbing, oxygen was less and less and less, and Draupadi first fell. All of them. So what is the climax of life? Tell me, let me hear it from you. Then why are you afraid of it? Every day you are moving towards death and moving away from birth. How many people come here? Sometimes they tell me wedding anniversary, birthday anniversary and all that. Is there anything like a birthday? Or all the days are created by the sun and the earth? Do you have a birthday? Do you ever know that you were born? Will you ever know that you will die? You die? Is there anybody whom you can bring before me to say, I was dead, I died, and here I am? Has anybody come and reported about his own death? And living, Are you conscious of your birth? Can you tell me that you were born? At the age 1.5 or 2, the mother comes and tells you, you are my child, this is your father. This is what we hear. It is a borrowed information. It is not an experiential factor. So what are you saying? In the whole world, according to my calculation, 10,000 crores of people have died and 700 crores of people are living. In terms of billion, 100 billion have died and 7 billion are alive. So what is the story earth has to tell us? The greater part is the story of death. And very small is the part of birth. Everybody is celebrating birthday. The other day somebody came, Swamiji, you always say birth distancing day and death approaching day. That is our birthday. Only 2 categories of people. Either people gata soon, from whose body the life forces have departed, and the others from whom the life forces are not departing. So they are proceeding. What is there to worry about? You know what Krishna told Uddhava when he was going to Badrikashrama? See, the passage of time causes birth. The same passage of time will bring death also. Never worry about it. When does a body die? My definition of death is, when the body is unable to sustain breath, it dies. When it is unable to sustain breath, should it not die? Will it not die? And what is there wrong? You want the dying people not to die and suffer immensely, that they will be virtually dead? So when anybody dies, it is because of a failure in the body to sustain itself. When that pinnacle is reached, death is very natural. Why not we accept it? Cry for a while. 10 days you can cry, 1 month also. But after crying you should have relief. So there are only 2 categories of people. People in whom life forces are active and in whom life forces are absent. Now what are we? We are moving towards death. So if you grieve over the death, then should you not grieve more over the to be dead? Oh, he has gone and you will also go. You will also go. What is this? Ashocyan anvashocha. At no point of time should you become sorrowful over anything. The world is not going to witness an event or an outcome which has not been preceded earlier. Preceded. Any event or outcome going to take place here, something similar, greater or smaller has already taken place. There is nothing new. What is the age of the human upon this earth? Countless number of millennia. Tell me, has any organ been added to the human body? Or anything taken away from the body? The world consists of Panchabhutas, 5 elements, solid earth, fluid water, gaseous air, hot and brilliant fire, and the thin space. Has there been any addition to these? Has there been any reduction to these? So what kind of a change are you reporting? Our mind has not changed, sentiments have not changed, emotions have not changed. The knowledge process and mechanism is not changing. Then what is it that you call change? I don't understand. Civilization. Civilization. What is this civilization? If the knowledge element is missing there, the harmony factor is missing there, the sense of fulfillment we are unable to attain, can it be a civilization? Every civilizational measure is supposed to improve the quality of life. When does living becomes best? when it is acceptable, harmonious, fulfilling, delightful, elevating to us. Everything that we do should not be enervating, but elevating. Not contracting, but expanding. Everything should purify us. We should have pure water, pure air, pure earth. Are we making the earth pure, water or air? Tell me, in the hands of civilization, scientific research, modern inventions, earth, water and air, have they become purer or more impure? And how dare you to call it human civilization? What is the meaning of civilization? A civilized man means a civilized man. Good in his thoughts, good in his words, good in his actions. Aiming at something benevolent, beneficial, benign, not malignant. What is this? Should we not question our own standards, our own evaluations, our own aspirations? Are we given to sleep or are we given to wakefulness? What does it mean? We are all born to add to the list of death. A few decades you will live. Live nobly, honorably, creditably, beneficially, benevolently, trying to help and serve the rest, others. That is what we want. Paropakararthamidam shariram. Our body is meant for serving and helping the others. Gatasoon agatasumscha nanushochandi panditaha. This is the first sloka Krishna spoke to Arjuna. This is sloka number 11 of the second chapter of Gita. Now the next. What is the next? Huh? I know it. See what Bhagavad Gita is and what it means to convey to you, what it means to make you, is clearly mentioned here. Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadhipaha nachaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param. Arjuna, you know me for long. We are together. Close. What is your estimation about me at my birth? You feel that I was a child born of Devi, bred by Yashoda. No. My body was born. My body was bred. But the I in me, which animates and activates the body, that which is sentience or sentiency. Are you familiar with the word? S-E-N-T-I-E-N-C-E. S-E-N-T-I-E-N-C-Y. Another word is consciousness. That which makes you conscious of other things as well as itself. That sentience which makes the material physical body animated and activated. That is the I. I is not a physical component or constituent. It is a knowledge. I am. That amness is a knowledge. That knowledge is what the I represents. That I, natve vaham jadunasam. There was no time when I was not. Are you following me? There was no time when I was not. Equally so, natvam. There was no time when you were not. neme janadhipaha. Similarly, there was no time when Bhishma, Drona and the rest were also not there. All of you have come to the lecture hall. If you were not earlier, would you have come here now? Huh? Your presence here, what does it indicate? No answer. Your presence here, what does it indicate? You were present earlier. That is why you are here. If you are earlier and you are now also here, then will you not necessarily be later also? Huh?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Where shall I go to ask this question and get an answer? Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadhipaha nachaivana bhavishyamaha. There is not going to be a time when we shall cease to be and become absent. Your presence now clearly underscores your earlier presence, and both of them together clearly indicate your future presence. Never speak about absence of presence. What am I saying? Using the tool of intelligence, I am activating, inspiring, and leading your intellects. Knowledge is the tool. Knowing process is the means. The knowing process proceeds from the knower. It is moving towards the knowable and the known. Natvevaham jadunasam natvam neme janadhipaha nachaivana bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param. Arjuna, my dear Arjuna, cast aside the thought of death and extinction. Every living body gives you the idea of livingness, not deadness. When I look at you, it is true that my eyes, with the help of the eyes, I see a body. But I see the body as what? Living. So your body gives me the notion of livingness or non-livingness. Huh? So what are you? I am a living presence. How dare you say I am the body? Correct your understanding. If you have not heard it, hear it now. Hear it now. Start thinking afresh. Make a correction of a colossal mistake of humanity. Correct it. Stand by the new idea, the new knowledge. There was no time when I was not. There was no time when you were not. There was no time when these people were not. And there will not be a time when we shall not be. This is the message of Bhagavad Gita. Now you tell me, was it restricted to Arjuna or was it open to the entire humanity of all times? Boliye na thoda. Huh? This is the message of Bhagavad Gita. Why did our people read it, reread it, master it, disseminate it, make it pervade the whole of India, the nooks and corners? A Krishna, an Arjuna, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, the message of the soul, the message of the immortality of man, of woman, of child. What is this? You say your father, the author of your being, mother. Have they told you this? Has any elder spoken to you this? What about the teachers in the academic institutions? None of them. This is a different knowledge. It is knowledge proper, knowledge of the subject of the I, on which everything else depends. Without you, you don't have a mother or father. When the I is there, you, he, she, it and they are there. The whole life is a triangle connecting the I, you, and they. The I is the fundamental, the fulcrumatic. That I we utter. But we never try to know, understand, perceive, sense, comprehend, or realize. What is a grave error in our life? We have the power of thinking, the power of speaking and articulation. But this is missing in us. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi. Tatha dehantara praptihi dhirastatra na muhyati. Arjuna, you are a courageous man. You spoke to me, reciting, quoting from our Shastras, you are wise. But understand, a wise man will never grieve over death. You should rip open the mystery of death. Now it is a product and episode of delusion. Delusion. Everybody says, why did you go so early? Why did you go? I cannot reconcile with it. What else will you reconcile with in life? Instances occur, they pass. Except reconciliation, what do you have in your hand? Nothing. After we came here, we are constantly thinking about a girl, 16-year-old girl, who is admitted. She is in a specialty hospital. The doctors are not able to find out anything. Many tests have been done. So many attempts have been made. Still, the diagnosis is not done. She is connected to a heart, not ventilator. If the ventilator is disconnected, she develops seizures, etc. They say, wait till Thursday. We cannot say. In my life, miracles have taken place, losses also have taken place. Let us hope for a miracle, says the neurologist. What can we do? The medicines are absorbed by the system and reacted to by the system. We are administering medicines as a help, but the primary cure is done by the body. If it is unable to, what shall we do? Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi. A child is born. Should it not grow? So it will grow from babyhood to a boy or a girl, then adolescence, thereafter youth, then it starts declining. Finally it will become aged. And tell me what is the last? Exit. Drop. Dhirastatra na muhyati. Never call death an extinction. It is only a cessation of the breathing and active processes in the body. The body is a biological aggregate. Our parents are biological parents. Nobody has planted the life in the embryo or in the fetus. Never, never, never. None can claim the authorship or parenthood of that living spirit in us. Rewrite your judgment. Rewrite your understanding. Be humble. Be wise. Be noble. Be receptive. Try to beg for harmony, reconciliation, stability, poise, resoluteness. We are here to understand life. Unless you think about life, how can you understand? Arjuna was amazed. I will not speak a word about death, Krishna. But what about the problems of life? About death, I will not say. But what about the living problems? Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha agama payino anityaha tan titikshasva bharata. You understand, this is a dialogue between two fighters. A fighter is supposed to be very healthy. He has flexible limbs. He can do magic with his body. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha. Are you tired? Huh? See, listen to this point. Sri Krishna is presenting a full solution to all the problems of life. He says you should understand what is life. Matra sparshaha. In 4 letters he has defined life. If I ask all of you, can you define life? Everyone will speak something or the other. There is a social definition, a medical definition, a biological definition, an anthropological definition, a nuclear definition. So many definitions may be there. But here is a very general, simple, but very reliable and comprehensive definition. He says, Matra Sparsha. The word Matra means by which you measure, by which you cognize. Senses. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. You call the world to be various. What kind of a world? I also say, infinitely various world. All this variety the world may claim. But when you and I, as individuals, begin to interact with them, the entire variety is reduced into 5. How many times shall I say this? Huh? The entire variety is reduced into 5. So you tell me in your experience the way world is 5-fold or infinitely various. Either they are sights, or they are sounds, or they are smells, or they are tastes, or they are touches. Nothing beyond these and nothing short of these. So our senses are so powerful, they are telling the world, you may be various, but we telescope you into 5. And when these 5 in the sensory level enter into the mental plane, they become 2. 2. Are you hearing me? Huh? Huh? Why don't you compliment yourselves? Huh? You felt like coming here and listening to and getting enlightened. Dehinos matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha. So the varietal world becomes 5-fold, and the 5-fold sensations, when they enter inside us, they become 2. Like cold and heat. Cold and heat can be felt by the skin. But the sukha and dukkha can be felt by the mind. Sukha means happiness, dukkha means unhappiness. So all the infinite variety, so far as your experiential level is concerned, inside your body, tell me what is the whole world. It is sukha and dukkha. This formula is sufficient for you. Nothing else you need. The entire world equals sukha and dukkha. It may come through your family members, from your professional gains, from share market, from any place whatsoever, any object whatsoever. You are the interacting individual. Interactions are at the level of the senses. In the level of the senses, they are 5. In the brain center, where you experience and know, it is only 2. Like cold and heat. Can you ever think of cold not being related to heat? Can you have cold alone or heat alone? Huh? No. Similarly, you cannot have sukha alone and dukkha alone. What is their character? Agamapayina. They come and go. What? If you ask them not to come, no. Not to go, are? They will do neither. They will come and they will go. They will come and they will go. You are the person who remain there to say, come and go. You will not come and you will not go. Anityaha, therefore they are transitory, fleeting. Tan tidikshasva, knowing that they are so, develop tolerance towards them, forbearance towards them. You are a hero, you believe in valor, you believe in strength, you believe in adventure, in physical might. Arjuna, you lack the mental strength. You lack the intellectual clarity. That is your problem. Your grandfather is not your problem. Your teacher is not your problem. Your own mind. You have never nourished it properly, developed it properly, cultivated it properly. I and you are together to face this situation. You cry and I smile. What is the difference? Huh? Boliye na thoda. It makes Arjuna shed tears, but it makes Krishna smile. Tan tidikshasva bharata. They are agama points. They come and go. Nasato vidyade bhavo, nabhavo vidyade sadaha, ubhayorapi drishtondas tattvadarshibhi. See the culture of our teachers. Sri Krishna doesn't say, it is my knowledge, I give you. No. Krishna quotes from Kathopanishad. He quotes from Brahma Sutras. He has learned it under Sandipani and the others. He went for more than a decade, 12 years to Himalayas and did penance also before the birth of his first son, Pradyumna. He was a human by all means, having the same blood as you and I have. So he says, Nasato vidyade bhavo, nabhavo vidyade sada. My dear souls, understand that only by concepts, postulates, we can develop knowledge. The source of knowledge is within your body. Intelligence is an expression of knowledge. It is an instrument of knowledge. Use the intelligence and grasp. Nasato vidyade bhavo. There are two propositions, the real and the unreal. First of all, they are words. The real. What does it mean? That which does not change, either in the past or in the present or in the future. The real will continue to be equally so, the same ever. The unreal is its opposite. Now you are using the word sat for real and asat for the unreal. Nasato vidyade bhavo. The asat never comes into expression. Na bhavo vidyade sadaha. And the sat never goes out of expression. Am I clear? Huh? Ubhayoravi drishtondaha. The difference between the two has been clearly seen and explained by tattvadarshibhi, those people who are experts in the sphere of knowledge. Tell me now, what is Bhagavad Gita as a dialogue? Thoda boliye na? Bhagavad Gita, is it a feast to be eaten? It is a feast to the ears, to the brain. See how beautifully he explains. The unreal will never come into expression and the real will never go out of expression. You apply this to Sukha Dukkhas. If Sukha is real or Dukkha is real, will they not be constantly present? Huh? If they are not Sat, then can they be Asat? Asat will have no expression. At the same time, they are express. So what shall we say about them? It cannot be classified as real. It cannot be disposed of as unreal. So when it is not answerable to both these standards, it is called illusory. The word illusory means that when it cannot be submitted to a rational explanation. Ubhayorapi drishtondastvanayos tattvadarshibhi. Experts in the sphere of knowledge have clearly ascertained the difference between the two. Now, what is the sukha and dukkha? I will take a few more minutes and then stop. Don't be afraid of them. Don't be afraid of them. Sukha and dukkha, they will together be one after the other there. If you want to have no dukkha, you will have no sukha also. Without hunger, can you have taste for food? And without hunger, can you have any appeasement? Huh? You should be hungry or not? Then only you can eat food and nourish the body. So, dukkha is necessary to have sukha. And sukha is necessary to have dukkha. For every sukha, before and after it, two dukkhas. Tell me, is it desirable then? To enjoy one sukha, you should suffer. On the other hand, to have one dukkha, you will have two sukhas. Tell me which is better now? Which is better? What is sukha? The cessation of dukkha. When dukkha ends, sukha comes. So please say, have more dukkha. Let me have more dukkha, so that I will have greater and greater sukha. And that which comes and goes. Is it permanent? Is it sat? It is asat. It is a delusion. You only have experience in life. To categorize it as sukha and dukkha, very wrong. What about the pain, which medical people will explain? Pain. Pain is the most desirable note in our body. There are instances of cancerous infection, internal cancer, where no pain is generated. I am subject to correction. Because it does not cause any pain, the cancerous infection grows. And somehow when it is discovered or identified, they will say third stage or fourth stage. And chala gaya. Suppose it had produced pain in the early stage itself, then we would have taken some measures, possibly there was a cure possible. In Calcutta, one man came to me years back and said, Swamiji, I have come to you to raise a very important question. What is the question? I am suffering from a disease which is very, very rare. What is that? Paget's disease. Disintegration of bone. Very rarely it happens. He suffers from it. He went to the Calcutta and other hospitals and all of them could not do anything. They were giving him sedation, that's all. So he went to London. He had a house in London. He went there and undertook the treatment. He found they were also doing the same thing. So he said, I came to London thinking that some better treatment would be available. So you are doing the same thing. Morphine is being administered. So I don't want the treatment. And this man told me, please listen to it. I deliberately started forgetting my pain. In other words, he was dulling his nervous system by an application of his mind. He says, I have no pain at all, but periodically I go abroad and get the disintegrated portions repaired, surgical operation, and I come away. Now the doctors say, you are leading an abnormal life. Because you have no pain, any disease can survive in your body, so you have to be careful. I said, let us not go into further discussions in this matter. You have an excruciating pain from the disease, no cure for it. in any way you have found a cure in this matter, try to be careful, be cautious as much as possible and carry on. What you are doing is right, I said. So the pain can also be nullified by our system. Our mind has got tremendous power. This is the mind which completely obliterates 16 hours of your interaction and interactional impacts every day. After 16 hours, chop! Everything is wiped off and you go into snoring sleep. If mind can wipe off 16 hours of interactional impacts, cannot the mind do still greater wonder? So believe in the efficacy of your mind, the resourcefulness of your mind. Krishna is trying to develop the mind of Arjuna through the tool of intelligence. This is what we are also doing. Do you agree or disagree? So we shall stop. Okay? Samvedya varjitamanuttamamekamadyam samvidpadam vigalanam kalayan mahatman hridyeva tishtha kalanarihita kriyam tu kurvan agartrapadamehitya samodita shri kurvan agartrapadamehitya samodita shri. We shall have a conclusional Omkara. Hari, Hari, Hari. Take your pose. Oh, be embodiments of peacefulness, quietude, and inner absorption. Hari Om Tats. Jai Guru. Jai Guru.